We're going to say shalom, brothers and sisters. Hope all is well. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're staying prayed up. Hope you are continuing in the faith. Once again, I am your host, Shabar Judah ben Israel, bringing you another edition concerning Solid Foundation, Israelite Academy, supposedly 2018. And this is going to be a wonderful lesson on tonight, brothers and sisters. So prepare yourselves. It's going to be a wonderful lesson on tonight. We give double honor to the elders. Salutations to the Akim, the brothers that's preaching and teaching this truth and sincerity, weeks in and weeks out, in seasons and out of season. Edifying the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the people of Negro and ending in descent, according to the Holy Scriptures. Why? Because you are the Israelites, the chosen seed, the chosen people of the Most High God, and His Son, who they call Jesus the Christ, who we know as Yahweh. So we give all praises and glorification and do honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh, for allowing us to be able to return to this truth. So without further ado, we're going to get into the lesson. The lesson tonight, brothers and sisters, we're going to be going into a horror film, okay? And this lesson tonight is going to be concerning the topic Friday the 13th. Yes, Friday the 13th. Man, I'm supposed to been done this video, but the video is here. We will be going into Friday the 13th. We will analyze it. We will scrutinize it. All that good stuff. We'll break it down to show you simply that according to Friday the 13th, you already know who comes to mind. Jason Voorhees comes to mind. Jason Voorhees, one of the most iconic slashers, horror slashers of all time. Actually, this is my favorite horror slasher, Jason Voorhees. This is one of my favorite horror slashers of all time, man. I grew up on Jason Voorhees, you know, me being an 80s baby, because that's actually when Friday the 13th, you know, basically arrived on the scene, like during the early 80s, man. And yeah, I grew up on Jason Voorhees, man. One of the most horrible, iconic, insane slashers of all time, man. Jason Voorhees. So what about Jason Voorhees? What about Jason Voorhees? What the hell Jason Voorhees has to do with this lesson on tonight? Well, I'm going to show you something, brothers and sisters. Now, according to the scriptures, who you know as Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and know he was not a European Caucasian man. He was not a pale-skinned white man. According to the scriptures, you should know that who they call Jesus Christ, we know him better yet as Yahweh Shai. You should know that he was a melanated man, so to speak, a dark-skinned man from the tribe of Judah, pursuant to Revelation chapter 1 verses 14 to 15, and also Daniel's chapter 10, beginning with verse 5, reading on down. You know, explains the biblical description of Yahweh Shai. And we know that he was who they call Jesus the Christ, Yahweh Shai. We know that he was the so-called black man, and he was the savior of the nation of Israel. He came to give repentance and the forgiveness of sins to the nation of Israel, which is the moderate blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, even though the Christian society will have you to believe that salvation is open to all nations. But however, that's a lie. Salvation was only for the nation of Israel. Okay, but anyways, Yahweh Shai is actually Jason Voorhees. Now you probably saying, what the hell? I'm going to prove it. Yahweh Shai is actually Jason Voorhees. Okay? And the reason why I say that, because Jason Voorhees, if you know anything about Friday the 13th, if you look at how the script was written, if you go back and just look at the making of Friday the 13th, how the directors came together, the script was written, and how they formulated it and put it together, they would tell you that in the beginning, his name was not Jason Voorhees. Okay, his name was not Jason Voorhees. In the beginning, when they was formulating this movie and putting it together, his name was not Jason Voorhees. His name was actually Joshua Voorhees. Yes, his name was Joshua Voorhees. So I'm going to run this clip so you guys can check it out if you don't believe me. So let's go ahead and run this clip. Jason name originally, okay, I might need to minimize it so you can see what's going on. So I minimized it to show you that Jason's name originally wasn't Jason. Okay, so let's play it.
Jason's name originally wasn't Jason. Jason's name originally wasn't Jason. Yep, although the name Jason Voorhees has become recognised as a staple of horror culture, his name wasn't originally going to be Jason. But in fact, in the original script of the first movie, his name was Josh. In the original script of the first movie, his name was Josh. His name was Josh. So yeah, everyone be aware of serial killer Josh Voorhees.
See, so there you have it, man. There you have it, brothers and sisters. So his name wasn't going to be Jason. It was going to be Joshua. Okay? Joshua or Joshua. That was Jason's original name. Joshua Voorhees. So why we are pointing out Joshua? Why we are looking into Joshua? Because Joshua, you're going to find out, is the how you would say Joshua in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. Now, as you can see up here in the blue highlighted box, it says pictures of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is YAHAWASHI. Yahweh Shai. You can see it up here. Yahweh Shai, let me blow it up. As you can see it, Yahweh Shai means Yah. Okay, wait a minute. Yah means he, and Yahweh Shai means delivers. So he delivers. So the Messiah's name, national biblical name, was not Jesus the Christ. It was Yahweh Shai, which is a transliteration of Joshua. Okay, and this is exactly what Jason's original name was going to be, but they changed it. Let me roll another clip. So let's run this audio clip to let you see furthermore.
Jason Voorhees was originally going to be named Josh, but Victor Miller, the first film's writer, decided that Josh wasn't really a name that anybody could take seriously for a killer. In an alternative universe, we could have enjoyed the films Freddy vs. Josh and Josh Takes Manhattan, which I think sound like wholesome Disney Channel specials.
So as you can see right there, brothers and sisters, they're letting you see that Jason's original name was going to be not Jason Voorhees, but it was going to be Joshua. Okay. Right here. What is that? Yahweh Shai. Okay. Okay. Let me show you. This is how you would say Joshua in the Hebrew. Yah, which he, Ha-wa-shai, Yahweh Shai. Now on the top, you have the modern Hebrew on the top, which is better yet known as the Assyrian script or the Ezra script. Some even call it Yiddish. Okay? That's the Hebrew on the top. It's two forms of Hebrew. Now the Hebrew on the Bible is the ancient Paleo Hebrew, or some may say the Phoenician Hebrew. This is how you say Yahweh Shai in both of the forms of the Hebrew. Okay, whether you write it in Yiddish, which is on the top, or whether you write it in the Paleo Hebrew, which is on the bottom, Joshua name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Now some may pronounce it as Yahshua. Okay, some may pronounce it as Yahshua. but it's Yahweh Shai. And once again, that's Joshua. So what they're telling you is that Jason is Yahweh Shai. Now, those of you that don't know of Jason, we're going to show you something about Jason, because Jason is, like I said, an iconic horror killer. Okay? What do I mean by that? Jason is a murderous horror killer, okay, who goes around Camp Crystal Lake and kills numerous of people, okay, in the revenge of his mother, okay. Why do he do that, brothers and sisters? For the sake of revenge. And also Jason kills counselors on Camp Crystal Lake because he charged counselors for letting him drown. You know the story, but we'll break it down to you to open your eyes up clearly to see what's really going on about Jason Voorhees really being Yahweh Shai, the black messiah of the scriptures, man, who they call Jesus the Christ. So we're talking about Friday the 13th, right? So let's get into it more. Those of you that may not know of Friday the 13th, here's a brief illustration or inscription or post. It says, Crystal Lake's history of murder doesn't dare the counselors from setting up a summer camp in the woodsy area. Superstitions local warns against it, but the fresh-faced young people, then it's just giving you guys who played in the film, you know, and it says more, pay little heed to the old timers. Then they find themselves stalked by a beauty killer as they are slashed, shot, and stabbed. The counselors struggle to stay alive against a merciless opponent. So this is Jason that's doing all this beauty killing and slashing and shooting and stabbing. This is the man they call Jason Voorhees that's doing that. Alright? Which is a representation of Yahweh Shai. We'll show you that. Friday the 13th was released on May 9th, 1980 in the United States of America. Here's the director, Sean S. Cunningham. The budget was $700,000 and it hit box office at $59.8 million, almost $60 million. You know, here's the screenplay, Victor Miller. You might want to check all this out on your own time, but those of you that may be new to Friday the 13th, it shouldn't be new to you. But those who may be new to Friday the 13th. Now, let's get into the story of Jason Voorhees, which is truly Yahweh Shai. Okay, so we're going to continue on, and we'll give you the rundown of it. It says Jason Voorhees, which really supposed to be Joshua Voorhees. Jason Voorhees is the main character from Friday the 13th series. He first appeared in Friday the 13th as a young son of camp cook turned killer Miss Voorhees, because his mother was a camp cook at Crystal Lake. Keep in mind, Crystal Lake is located in what you would call New Jersey. Now think about that. New Jersey, New Jerusalem. New Jersey, New Jerusalem. But anyways, it says his mother, Mrs. Voorhees, was a camp cook of Crystal Lake, in which he was portrayed as, let's look at it, let's look at the Wikipedia. Let's go ahead and look into it. Just bear along with me, brothers and sisters. Bear along with me. In which he was portrayed by Ari Lehman. And you know, and it just goes on and on, but I want to really just give you the rundown of Jason. I'm not pretty much concerned with the introduction. I just want to give you the rundown of this man to show you that it's a connection with Yahweh Shai. Okay, as you can see, it says, there is a legend around here, a killer buried but not dead, a curse on Crystal Lake, a death curse. So actually it's supposed to be a curse on Crystal Lake, because every time someone decides to go there, they ends up missing. But actually, we know the curse, because see, the so-called white man, he's not gonna actually just put it out to make it real obvious. The curse, supposedly the article says there was a curse on Crystal Lake. But we all know as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans concerning Deuteronomy 28 chapter in the Bible, a curse was put on Israel for the disobedience of God's laws, for the breaking and the violation of God's laws. A curse was put on the nation of Israel. Reading Deuteronomy 28:15, when he said in Deuteronomy 28:15 in your Bible, he says that if the children of Israel did not hearken to them, that they would be cursed. Okay, so even though the director flipped it and made it like a curse on Crystal Lake, we know that the curse is actually talking about the curse being placed on the children of Israel. All right, for the disobedience of God's laws. But anyway, the article says there was a curse on Crystal Lake, supposedly a death curse. Okay, Jason Voorhees curse. They say he died as a boy, but he keeps coming back. Few have seen him and lived. Some have even tried to stop him. No one can. People forget he's down there waiting. See, so Jason Voorhees is the main antagonist and centerpiece of Friday the 13th franchise. Because when you think of Friday the 13th, you think of Jason Voorhees. It says, and one of the two main antagonists of the crossover films, Freddy vs. Jason, along with Freddy Krueger, he was almost completely silent, undead, and seemingly unstoppable killing machine. Jason was an iconic madman who hunts Camp Crystal Lake and the surrounding area, driven to slaughter anyone he encounters by a burning need to avenge the death of his beloved mother, because his beloved mother, which is Pamela Voorhees, okay, she gets killed in Friday the 13th, the first Friday the 13th part 1. She gets killed by this particular woman named Alice. So we'll show you the death of his mother, okay? Okay, so this is Jason's mother being decapitated by Alice in Friday the 13th part 1. When Alice found out she was the killer, she came after Alice violently, and Alice eventually decapitated her. Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees. Let me show you the scene.
Manages to decapitate Pamela with a machete. Presumably while saying, there's a load off your shoulders. It's only in the film.
So you can see right here, brothers and sisters, this is a Nerd Factory. I'm just getting clips off lines. All rights to Nerd Factory. I'm just using this for educational purpose. All right, but anyways, I'll show you again.
Manages to decapitate Pamela with a machete. Presumably while saying, there's a load off your shoulders.
So Pamela Voorhees gets decapitated by Alice, one of the counselors. And what Jason does is that he seek out revenge for his beloved mother, Pamela Voorhees, for being decapitated. It says Jason Voorhees has killed at least 152 people. This counts Andy's and Debbie's unborn child. 20 of the people he killed during his body possession spree, and so forth, man. So the biography and the early life of Jason, or should I say Joshua Voorhees. Okay, now keep in mind, we're going to tie this in with Yahushua being Jason actually being Yahushua. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now this is the early life, the biography of the early life of Jason Voorhees. It says Jason Voorhees was born in a small town, Crystal Lake, on June 13, 1946. Now it says to this particular guy named Elias. Now who is that? Elias is Elijah in the Greek. That's how you would say Elijah, the prophet Elijah. If you want to say his name in the Greek, you would say Elias. So see, these directors, the so-called white man, know what's going on. Because why would they name Jason's father, or should I say Joshua, why would they name his father Elias? Because Elias, he was a prophet concerning the scriptures. Elijah the prophet, he was Elias. That's how you would say his name in the Greek. And Elias, that was Jason's father. It says in Pamela Voorhees. So Jason's father was Elias, and Pamela Voorhees was his mother. Jason was afflicted with severe facial deformities, okay? Because we don't know if Jason was an incestuous child. We don't know was he a child of incest or what, but he had severe deformities. He was had a mental disability. You see, and it says hydrocephalus, hydrocephalus, and abnormally large head and mental disabilities. It says raising Jason on her own because his father walked out. For what reasons, we don't know. Probably because he was too ashamed his child was born with facial deformities and mental retardation. But anyways, his father walked out, and Pamela, which is Jason's mother, kept her son so isolated from the community because she felt like he didn't have what it takes to fit in. So his mother kept him isolated from the community, not letting him attend school and educating him in their home on the outskirts of Crystal Lake. See, and then in the summer of 1957, says Pamela, unable to get a babysitter for Jason, resorted to bringing him to Camp Crystal Lake, where she worked as a cook. See that? While being bullied by the other campers, Jason attempted to escape from his tormentors. So you can see Jason was being bullied by other campers, man. When he was coming up as a child, he was constantly being bullied by counselors at the camp. They was picking on him because he had facial deformities, mental retardation, mental disability, an enlarged heart, a large head, and they was picking on him because he was a deformed child. So remember, Jason now is Yahushua, just like the Romans was mocking Yahushua. You know, they was mocking Yahushua. You know how they brutally beat him. You know, they whipped him, they crucified him. That's what they was doing. That's what the Roman Empire was doing. The Romans did the Son of God, who they call Jesus the Christ. We know him as Yahushua. The Romans did him just their way, man. They picked on him and mocked him too. Just like the counselors bullied Jason, or should I say Yahushua, because that's what his name's supposed to be. And they bullied him, man. Jason attempted to escape from his tormentors, which was his bullies, the counselors, but the cruel children caught up to him on the dock and threw Jason into the lake where he was drowned. See? So they wasn't intending on drowning Jason. They thought maybe he can swim. And what the counselors did, they threw him into the water and Jason could not swim and he drowned. Or supposedly. See that? And we're talking about the actual name for Jason supposed to be Joshua. So it's talking about how Jason, or should I say Joshua, Yahushua, was picked on in his early childhood life, having facial deformities and having an abnormally large head and a large heart with mental disabilities, which was picked on by teenagers and counselors that used to bully him and used to throw him into the lake. Well, this time they threw him into the lake and he didn't come up. And I'll show you a picture. I'll show you a screenshot. So those teenagers throw Jason into the lake.
Jason. You.
See, so basically, you know, the counselors did that to Joshua Voorhees, man, or they say Jason. You see, threw Jason into the lake where he drowned. The counselors were supposed to be watching the children, but instead were talking and having sex in the woods. See that? So keep in mind, you see how deformed Jason looked. You see how hideous he looks. His mental deformities, facial deformities. You know what they would call hydrocephalus. He had a normally large head, large heart. Well, the scripture said Yahushua had no form of comeliness. We'll get that. This is Isaiah 53:2. This is prophecy of the Messiah, who they call Jesus the Christ, which is Yahushua, which is the English name for Joshua, or Joshua. Some call him Yahshua, which was actually the original name for Jason. And it says that, for he shall grow up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of dry ground. He had He have no form of comeliness. So this is talking about who they call the Messiah, Jesus Christ, who we know as Yahweh Joshua. He had no form of comeliness. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. That's Isaiah 53:2. So he had no form of comeliness. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. Okay, just like Jason, as being with mental disabilities and an abnormally large head and a large heart, and he was deformed. He had no form of comeliness. You see that? He had no form of comeliness. Okay, and when we shall see, and there is no beauty that we should desire him, Isaiah 53:2. And there was no beauty that the counselors desired him, man. So the counselors used to pick on him and have their way with him. And they throw him in the lake and he drowned it. The counselors were supposed to be watching the children. But instead they were talking and having sex in the woods. This is Jason Voorhees as seen in Friday the 13th, 1980. Though Jason's body was never found, the camp closed as a result, but reopened the next summer. It was closed again when Pamela, mad with grief, murdered Barry and Claudette. The counselors she blamed for Jason's drowning. You see? So his mother was mad because she blamed the counselors for letting her son drown. Now, Jason's drowning is in reference to Yahweh baptism, man. Because we know that Yahweh was baptized by John the Baptist, okay, in the Jordan River. So, you know they're not going to actually just give you the whole deal correctly. They're going to have to twist it and turn it and tweak it up. But that's what the white man does. But yes, Yahweh also went under the water, man. Because he was baptized by John the Baptist, which was his cousin. So he also went under the water. He didn't drown in the scriptures like the story of Friday the 13th based on Jason, but you know this is how the white man flip it, so it won't be so obvious. Pamela was never suspected of the murders, and all subsequent attempts to open the camp ended in failure, presumably due to sabotage on Pamela's part, resulted in the camp being nicknamed Camp Blood by the locals who came to believe the area was cursed. And we already know in Deuteronomy 28, you know, beginning with verse 15 all the way down to 68, it talks about how the curses came upon Israel. So, you know, you can see the so-called white man right here, man. He's tweaking and turning, but he knows the truth, man. Okay, also it says, life before mass killing sprees, because Jason went on a massive killing spree in the revenge of his mother because he saw his mother beheaded by Alice, and also he was killing to avenge his death, supposedly being drowned. Jason somehow returns to life after his apparent death, constructing and living in a crude shelter. See that? In the forest, Jason seemingly waited for his mother to find him and managed to live in the woods surrounding Camp Crystal Lake for over 20 years. Okay? So, we're going to continue on. Let's scroll down. Okay, as you can see right here, this is a picture of Jason. Jason Voorhees is left drowned and why no one else saves him. See that? So as we was here, Jason somehow returned to life after his apparent death, constructing and living in a crude shelter in the forest. Jason seemingly waited for his mother to find him and managed to live in the woods surrounding Camp Crystal Lake for over 20 years. He lived off the land and whatever he could basically survive off, man. During these years, Pamela never found out where he was, nor did they see each other again until her death. See that? In the summer of 1979, Steve Christie, the son of Camp Crystal Lake founders, David and Louise Christie, tried to reopen the camp and hired several teenagers from out of town to assist them. It says, enraged by Steve's actions, Pamela murdered him and almost all his employees, with only Alice Hardy surviving. Ultimately, Alice decapitated Pamela with a machete, as we showed you, and after a brief struggle on the lake shore, Pamela was killed by Alice. She was decapitated. After killing Pamela, Alice fell asleep or likely passed out due to stress from her ordeal in a canoe, and was rescued by the police. She had a perceived nightmare where a young decayed Jason appeared out of the water and dragged her into the lake. When Alice told the police about Jason attacking her, they reassured her that they never found any evidence of a boy in the lake. So you can see that Jason actually didn't drown. You know, he managed to find his way out there late. And eventually he grew up and went on a killing spree. See that? So this prelude to this mass killing spree that Jason went on. So after his mother's murder spree, Jason, having witnessed his mother's death, grabbed her sweater, pants, and severed head and the machete that killed her, and returned to his shack with them, placing the objects on a crude altar he had constructed as a shrine to his beloved mother. See that? 2 months after Pamela's death, Jason soon left the woods and entered the town in search of his mother's killer. Jason somehow tracked Alice down to her apartment, snuck inside, and stabbed her in the head with an ice pick after scaring her by placing his mother's placing his mother's head in her refrigerator. See, escaping with Alice's body, Jason placed it at the foot of his mother's shrine. See, 3 years after killing Alice, Jason discovered a local teenager named Chris Higgins in the woods and attacked her with a knife, knocking her out in the struggle. Exactly what happened next is unknown, but hours later, Chris woke up at home with no idea how she had got there. So I'm not going to read this whole article, man, but you can check it out. But it talks about how Jason goes on a killing spree, basically to avenge the death of his mother, and also to avenge the counselors throwing him into the lake, supposedly letting him drown. And Jason just went on a killing spree, man, because he had a lot of pain within him, and it was all about avenging his mother, man, and the counselors throwing him in the lake. Now his mother was decapitated, right? Now what the scriptures say about the disciples, okay? Revelation 20:4, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded, just like Jason's mother, man. I saw the souls of them that was beheaded for the witness of Yahushua. You know, see, so you had, you know, the apostles, the disciples, the followers of Yahushua, who they called Jesus, that was beheaded for the witnesses of Yahushua. Just like Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees, she was beheaded for the witness of Jason, which Jason's original name was Yahushua, which is a transliteration of Joshua to Jesus. See that? It says, and for the word of God, in which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, and so forth. But you can see right there, man, the so-called white man, he gets scriptures from the Bible, and he tweaking and twisting and turning, man, into Hollywood films. So yeah, man. So Jason goes on a killing spree to avenge his mother, okay? And supposedly the counselor throwing him in Crystal Lake, letting him drown, man. And that's Yahushua, avenging the elect, okay? Because the disciples, according to the scriptures, were beheaded, you know? And that's all that is. Yahushua coming back to judge the so-called white man. Because he going to kill the so-called white man. He actually, so-called white man, so-called white woman, and these so-called white little boys and girls. Okay? Yahweh Shai is coming back to judge these Edomites, these so-called white people. And that's exactly what you see Jason doing, man. Judging these so-called white people for his death and his mother's death. Like the Roman soldiers, the Roman soldiers killed Yahweh Shai. Okay? The Roman soldiers murdered Yahweh Shai. He's going to come back and for the avengement of his death. And just like all the other unbelievers that killed Yahweh Shai saints, Yahweh Shai is coming back to avenge his saints and avenge his death, man, according to the scriptures. All right. Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. Every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. Well, that's the Roman Empire. Those so-called white people that killed Yahweh Shai, which is Joshua, which was the original name for Jason Voorhees, man. See, they also will pierce him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. Because they're going to wail because he's coming back to judge those same people who killed him, man. Just like, that's why you see Jason Voorhees doing this. That's why you see Jason Voorhees doing that. Because he's getting revenge on his saints, the elect of the nation of Israel, which is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He's getting this revenge, man. Okay. Okay. Another reason, brothers and sisters, they call it Friday the 13th. As you can see. Another reason they call it Friday the 13th, because Yahweh Shai, matter of fact, let's put up some images. Another reason they call it Friday the 13th, because Yahweh Shai had 12 disciples, and Yahweh Shai made the 13th, being the head. Okay? So, Jason is Yahweh Shai, man. Believe it or not, Jason is Yahweh Shai. Now, what's really strange about this mask, it tells you in the scripture that Yahweh Shai had no form of comeliness, that they should desire him, right? That's why Jason hides behind this mask, because he had no form of comeliness, that they should desire him. But what's remarkable about this mask, I'm going to show you something, brothers and sisters. This is Luke 3:23. Says, in Jesus, who we know as Yahweh Shai, himself began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli. What he's talking about is that basically, you know, Yahweh Shai, who they call Jesus, began this ministry at the age of 30, man. This is Luke 3:23. When he was about the age of 30, that's when he began to teach and preach. Now, how ironic is this? Okay, now when you look at Jason's mask, brothers and sisters, it has 30 holes in his mask. Okay, excluding these two big ones right here. Okay, but if you want to count all the holes, it's 33, because Yahweh Shai, that's when he died. That's when who they call Jesus the Christ. Yahweh Shai died at the age of 33, man. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, right? 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. It's 33 holes in the face of Jason Voorhees, in the mask of Jason Voorhees. Reason why 33 holes is because Yahweh Shai, Joshua, died at the age of 33, man. So Jason is Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? This is Matthew 12:40. So he died at the age of 33, right? It says, for as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man, which is Yahushua, who they call Jesus Christ, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So after they murdered Jesus, who we know as Yahushua, Joshua, who was the same, Jason's first name, after they murdered him, it tells you according to the scriptures that he was basically in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights. And after 3 days and 3 nights, he rose from the dead, man. Now watch this. This is, brothers and sisters, let me blow it up a little bit for you so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm on YouTube. This is, I do not have the copyrights for this. This is Friday the 13th, part 5. And I'm just pointing out how Jason, just like Yahushua, Joshua, you know, rose from the dead, man. Just like the scriptures say that Yahushua was 3 days, Matthew 12:40, 3 days, 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Now look at this. Now he's going to rise from the dead now. 3 days and 3 nights, just like Jesus Christ, who we know as Yahushua, was in the heart of the earth. And after 3 days he rose. Now look at this, man. Look at this. Is that a coincidence? Man, Jason is Yahushua, man. Jason is Yahushua, man. Matthew 12:40. The Son of Man was in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights. And after that he rose from the, he rose, man. And we'll show you that. Matthew 28:5. And the angel answered and said unto the woman, Fear ye not, for I know that ye seek Yahushua, who they call Jesus, which was crucified. See that? Matthew 28:6. He's not here, for he is risen. As he said, come and see the place where the Lord lay. So he rose, man, for he is risen. For he is risen, man. For he is risen, man. Now pay close attention to what Jason kills with. He kills with a large machete, man. Now, why do Jason kills with a large machete, man? Why do Jason kills with a large machete, man? Because that's his primary weapon that he kills with. As you can see, he kills with a large machete. Every time you see Jason, most likely, he's going to have a machete, man. As you can see, that's his primary weapon. Primary weapon, machete. Primary weapon, machete. Machete, man. So why is Jason's primary weapon a machete? That takes you back to Yahushua. See? Him having a sword, man. Just like Jason kills. The scriptures tells you when Yahushua comes back, his garment, he's going to stain his garment. Just like Jason kills. Because Jason is Yahushua, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why they call it Friday the 13th. Because on Yahushua's chest, there is 3, 6, 9, 12 gemstones. And Yahushua's head makes 13, man. See that? And Yahushua is just a transliteration of Joshua is a transliteration, Joshua, which was going to actually be the name of Jason before they changed it. So that's why you see the machete, man, because Yahushua in the scriptures is going to come back with a sword to plead with all flesh. He's going to come back with a sword to plead with all flesh. Okay? He gonna come back with a sword, man. As you can see. So it ain't strange why Jason carries a machete. Because Jason is Yahweh Shai, man. It ain't strange at all. Let me give you some Bible verses. This is Isaiah 66 and 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. This is Isaiah 66 and 16. Says, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. The slain of the Lord shall be many. Isaiah 66 and 16, man. It says, by his sword shall he plead with all flesh. So it ain't strange to see why Jason is doing this to these counselors. That's what I'm telling you. They call it Friday the 13th because basically they even tell you that who they call Jesus the Christ was crucified on Good Friday. But we know that he didn't die on Good Friday. We know he didn't die on Good Friday. But that's what they tell you, that he was crucified on Friday. Why would they tell you he was crucified on Friday? Because he had 12 disciples with him being the head, 13. So it ain't strange to see why Jason, or should we say Joshua, doing all this diverse killing, man. That's Yahweh Shai raining down judgment on the heathen, man. That's Yahweh Shai paying the so-called white man back for all the atrocities that he has committed against the children of Israel. That's all, man. That's what's going on, whether you believe it or not, man. Because Jason is taking revenge, or should we say Joshua, taking revenge for his mother. Now, brothers and sisters, okay, was not Jason's mother a woman? Okay, as you can see, let's take it back. Was not Jason's mama a woman? Well, that woman that was decapitated by Alice, that represents the nation of Israel. Because Israel is likened to a delicate woman. That's why when you read in Revelation 12, it tells you that a woman stood with the sun underneath her foot. That woman is talking about the nation of Israel. So when Jason's mother gets decapitated, that's actually Israel being subdued and overtaken by the heathen. And Jason goes throughout the movie killing to avenge his mother, like Yahweh Shai is going to avenge that woman, which is the nation of Israel, man. That's why you see all this. That's why you see all this killing, man. Okay. That's what I'm trying to show you, man. It's not strange. Just different killings, man. See that? And that's exactly why. See, just different killings. That's exactly why Isaiah 66 and 16 says, the slain of the Lord shall be many, because he's going to do it. Now, when you look in Genesis 49 chapter, and it talks about Judah. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver between his feet until Shiloh come. Shiloh is Yahweh Shai, who they call Jesus the Christ. And unto him shall be the gathering of the people. Right? Genesis 49:11, binding his foal into the vine, and his ass coat into the choice vine. He washed, see right here, he washed his garments in the wine. He washed his garments in wine and his clothes in the blood of grapes. What is that? It's a figurative saying when Yahweh Shai comes back, when the Messiah comes back, man, to plead with all flesh, he's going to wash his garments. A perfect illustration is this. See those bloody garments? He's going to wash his garments in wine, man, and his clothes in the blood of grapes, meaning that he's going to shed blood when he come back on the earth, man. Just like Jason gets bloody, because that's all Jason is, man. Yahweh Shai. That's all Jason is. Whether you chose to believe it or not, man, we telling you that Jason is Yahweh Shai. Okay? So he washed his clothes in the blood of grapes, meaning when he comes back, he's going to get bloody, man, because he's going to kill all these so-called white people, including you heathens, for what they have done to the nation of Israel, which was likened to a woman, just like they did Jason's mother, man. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to show you Israel was likened to a woman. Let's see, can we find it? This is Jeremiah 6:2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. Jeremiah 6:2. And that delicate woman in Friday 13th that Jason is avenging is his mother's, man. His mother. Because his mother was brutalized and decapitated. Just like Israel was brutalized and subdued by the heathen. So that's why Jason is doing all the killing. Because he's avenging his mother, man. Okay? That's why you see all these diverse killings taking place. Okay? Let's take it back. See, can we get some illustrations here? See that? So that's why Jason is doing all these diverse killings, man. See that? To avenge his mother. To avenge that woman. So Jason is Yahweh Shai, man. See that? That's why I say the slain of the Lord shall be many. That's why I say in Genesis 49, you know, and as we were reading Genesis 49 and 49 and 11, it say he washed his clothes in the blood of grapes. So let's see who this blood is going to be, because it say he washed his garments in the blood of grapes, pursuant to Genesis 49 and 11. So let's see who this blood is going to be. Who is that coming from Edom with dyed garments? Though the person that comes from, Edom with dyed garments is Yahweh Shai, man. Dyed garment mean that he's going to have bloody garments when he return on this earth, because he's going to shed blood, man. Okay? And Yahweh Shai's name is just Joshua, which was Jason's first name before it was Jason. Okay? And that's why it says, who's that coming from Edom with dyed garments? From Bozrah. Bozrah is the capital of Edom. This that is glorious in his apparel. See, and they made Jason horrible, and they made Jason horrific in his apparel. All right? Travailing in greatness in his strength, just like Jason. Travailing greatness in his strength. He's powerful. I that speak in righteous mighty to save. Isaiah 63:2. Okay? Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel? So Isaiah was asking Yahweh Shai, why are you so red? Why your clothes are so red? Okay? And thy garments like him that traded the wine fat, like you stepping on grapes. Why are you so red? Because Yahweh Shai coming back to do massive killing. Just like Jason Voorhees, man. He's coming back to do massive killing, man. Just like Jason Voorhees. You can see it for yourself, man. He's just showing you kind of illustrations. Okay, so you can see, man. Yahweh Shai is Jason. And that's why Isaiah say, why are you so red in your apparel, your clothes? Isaiah 63:3, I have tried in the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I would tread them in my anger. Just like Jason. Jason tread down counselors in his anger. He tread down counselors in his anger, man. Why? To avenge his mother. And that woman basically is Israel, man. Like Yahweh is going to avenge Israel. See that? So he tread down counselors, you know, and it said, for I would tread them in my anger. That's what Jason does. Tread down counselors in his anger. And trample them in my fury. See? He said, I would trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled on my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. That's why you see Yahweh shall like that. Their blood going to be sprinkled on his garments, the heathens. Blood is going to be sprinkled on his garments. That's why you see Jason doing all this massive killing, and blood is flying all over the place. Because, like he said, man, you know, their blood shall be sprinkled on his garments. You know what I'm saying? Several illustrations I just showed you. See that? That's what it's talking about. Jason being Yahweh Shai. Their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain my raiment. Isaiah 63:4. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemer is come. So Yahweh Shai is going to take vengeance for his children, the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And the Israelites is likened to a comely woman, man. That's why it's Friday the 13th, because Yahweh Shai makes the 13th of the 12 disciples. And all his disciples was martyred, man. And he's going to take revenge for his disciples, because the disciples makes up the nation of Israel, which is likened to a woman. Just why Jason avenged his mother. So for the day of vengeance, that's why Jason killed. He kills for revenge, for letting him drown in Crystal Lake. Counselors let him drown while having sex. And he also kills in the revenge of his mother. See? Isaiah 63:5. I looked and there was none to help. That's why when Jason come, nobody can help you, man. You done. And I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. And I would tread down the people in my anger, and I would make them drunk in my fury, and I would bring down their strength to the earth. So he says, I would tread down the people in my anger. This is what Yahweh Shai saying here, man. So it ain't strange to see Jason doing the same thing, because he is Joshua Voorhees. That's what his name was going to be. Joshua, which is nothing but Yahweh Shai. That's how you say Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. And that's why he says that I would tread down the people in my anger. That's why you see Jason doing this, man. That's why you see him doing that. He said he's going to tread down the people. He's not going to play. He's going to tread down the people in his anger. See that? So, yeah, man. I don't know what else to say, brothers and sisters. Jason is, yeah, man. Jason is Yahweh Shai. Jason is Yahweh Shai, man. I thought I'd bring that out, brothers and sisters. And if you don't believe me, then I don't know what to say, man. That's all Joshua is. Joshua is, in the Hebrew, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai has the same name as Joshua. That's why some people call him Yahshua. He had the same name as Joshua, man. And Joshua in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. And they was going to name Jason Joshua in the beginning, but they changed it because they knew it would be so obvious. Let me show you one more time before I close the video.
Jason's name originally wasn't Jason. Jason's name originally wasn't Jason.
His name originally wasn't Jason. But what was it?
Although the name Jason Voorhees has become recognisable as a staple of horror pop culture, his name wasn't originally going to be called Jason.
What was it?
In fact, in the original script of the first movie, his name was Josh. In the original script of the first movie, his name was Josh.
What?
His name was Josh. So
His name.
everyone be aware of serial killer Josh Voorhees.
His name was Josh. And that takes you back to Joshua, which is in the Hebrew paleo Yahweh, man. Hope you were edified, brothers and sisters. This has been another lesson on the behalf of Solid Foundation Israelite Academy. Till next time, peace.